favorite diabetics. For most of us, being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes happens later in life. When you're already a full-fledged adult. Being a full-fledged adult, you're already set in your ways, especially when it comes to the patterns of eating. When you get diagnosed, you have to completely change your normal behavior. You have to upheave the way you've already eaten and adjust to a completely new way of life. Now, when I talk about life, when I use that term life, I'm not talking about, taking your blood sugar or doing your injections, anything like that. I'm actually talking about the food we eat, because the food, what keeps us alive. Food is life. And for most of us, it's been an integral part of our social interactions, our family, holidays, any kind of celebratory event. And for some of us, it's also been a comfort. Some people find food very comforting. Certain stresses or anxieties that come up, they go to food. And that's a lot of people that happens to. Things have changed, and the food that we've always associated with these life events is now an endangerment to our health. Everybody reacts differently to these changes. For some people, it's just a slight adjustment to their daily habits and daily eating habits. But for others, it is a complete upheaval and overhaul of everything in your life. Regardless of whether you fall into the slightly changing or complete changing, all of us are human and make mistakes, and sometimes submit to these old habits. I have seen many people stress over these mishaps. They agonize over it. They beat themselves up about it. And, that's not good for anybody, but it's especially not good for diabetics. It's possibly worse than the piece of cake that you just ate. Stress and anxiety raises our numbers just like that cake does. And possibly even more so, because you eat the piece of cake, alright? Now it's done. You ate it, it's over. Your blood sugar is going to raise, but then it's going to come down. But when it comes to the stress and anxiety, the beating yourselves up, that doesn't just go away. That often, for most people, if you have these issues, is going to keep going. So your numbers are going to raise from the cake, and they're going to feel guilty about it, so they're going to raise some more. And then even after it's all over and your blood sugar has gone down from the cake, you're still thinking about it. You're still stressing about it. So it's still raising your numbers. And that's so as long as you don't have another slice of cake, then that stress and anxiety and beating yourself up about it is definitely worse than the slice of cake. And possibly even worse, if you continue to stress or have anxiety about it, you just might have another slice of cake just for that comfort. So here's my advice to everybody. Like I said, we're only human, and we make mistakes. Come to think of it, I don't want you to even consider it a mistake or a weakness. Thinking that way only causes the guilt and the stress. It's a choice that you made. Earlier, I used cake as an example, and that's because a few days ago, I had a slice of cake. I didn't feel guilty about it. It was a choice that I made. I decided, hey, I feel like a piece of cake. I haven't had any in a while. You know what? I'm going to have a slice. So I had a slice. That was it. It was a small slice. I felt better because I didn't have that weighing over me, that need, that want. And the next day, my numbers were fine. It didn't raise them because I didn't stress about it. The next day, like I said, my numbers were good, and I went back to my normal way of eating for diabetes. And I probably won't have to have another piece of cake for at least a month. Your choice makes you accountable for your actions. And choice means control. Feeling guilty and stressed about it only sets you up for more issues. Think of it like when a child falls down and gets just a little scrape on their knee. What happens? One of two things can happen. And it's all based on you, the parent. If you go over to them calmly and go, "Oh, are you okay?" and you see they're fine, they're probably not even going to cry. But if you freak out and run over to them and go, "Oh my God, are you okay?" they're going to take that as, "Oh, no, I'm not." And they're going to start to cry. And that's basically what I'm talking about. Because if you make a big deal out of it, then it becomes a big deal. But if you don't, then it's not a big deal. Eating one piece of cake is not the end of the world. As long as it's not a daily thing, who really cares? Tomorrow is another day. Hell, your next meal is another chance for you to eat healthy. So be kind to yourself. Be proactive rather than reactive. Own your choices and take control. Adjust your way of thinking from "I can only eat this or this" to "I can eat whatever I want. I have a choice in the matter. And you know what? Right now, I choose to eat what is healthy for my diet." If you're serious about taking control of your health, then own your choices. Otherwise, all you're doing is making excuses and making things worse for yourself. This is a marathon, not a sprint. You can do this. Thanks for watching, and live long and live healthy.